Would they look like antenna?
Let me see. Yeah, those are antennas. Those are probably for your case. Like the back of your computer probably has 2 empty spots.
But for what? What do I need an antenna for?
Well, I mean, you're wired, so you don't.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, it probably has a Wi-Fi card in it, and that's the antenna for it.
But I don't even have to be wired for it to work. It has a Wi-Fi in it.
Yeah, but it's a Wi-Fi. It's a desktop Wi-Fi card. So most desktop Wi-Fi cards are usually like an antenna on the back.
But I never plugged in an antenna and it works fine.
Okay.
I mean, like I connect fine. My Wi-Fi box is right there. That it's like 3 feet away.
It's probably that's why, because it's so short. But if you put those on, it's like.
Oh, maybe I'll check. Maybe I should check the speed.
Or maybe not. I don't know where. I mean, maybe you got a spare router somewhere.
Actually, they're pretty. Yeah, these are.
What's going on, Rolls?
Why would I have 2 of them? Then
it's usually 2.
Me.
You're gonna like nanu, like really.
Oh no! Wait, this is
really date yourself there.
In case you guys are wondering what next year's Halloween costume is going to be, it's going to be old cautious knitting, right? With Wi-Fi antennas just to piss everyone off. That's it right there. Yeah. Quality content. What's up, Rolls? How you doing?
Yeah.
Thanks for jumping on.
Hey, Team Pandora, what's going on?
It's awesome. Right on time.
Look at you. You know, I saw what was your most recent video? I just recently watched it. It was hold on, I'm gonna pull it up now because I wanted to ask you about it. You did a good job. There you go. You did the review on the Gun for IR. So Gun for IR is I can't even call it open source because it's not. It was a guy developed a build your own light gun for light gun games that work on LCDs.
Oh, okay.
So it's you can buy all the components yourself and then build it, but you still have to buy a license for the software. At first, a few years, like a year and a half ago, it was free, but I think he was getting too many copycats. People were trying to like tear it apart and like make money off of it.
So they were taking his open source and
then yeah. So then he charges like it's like $20 and you get the license for life or whatever, and then you just essentially that's what all it is. But you just pick up off the shelf parts. It's like it's an IR camera module, and then like an Arduino, and then you just wire it all together and switches and shove it into like an old light gun that you might have, maybe an old gun con, or take an old Nerf gun. People take old Nerf guns and like do whatever, and it works. And then you build 4 little LED like spots that go in every quadrant of your TV, and it's super precise. I've got all the stuff to build one, and I haven't done it. I've been having trouble with the firmware, and so I've been actually on the Discord talking to them.
You've been having trouble installing the software.
I've got the software installed. I can't get the software installed on the module. Like it's for some reason, even though it's a supported piece of hardware, it's having trouble. So either way, but I don't know did you buy one, Team Pandora, or did you get sent one? Because that's pretty cool. I've been wanting one. It's like $40 in parts, but a pre-built one is like $280.
Well, that's labor, man. You gotta.
Oh, totally. I mean, I get it. It's just like the cost of parts to the ratio of like pre-built is like.
Well, I mean, like you sit there and go, "Well, I could do this," and say,
"Oh no, I get it. I mean, I get it.
$40, right?
I 100% get it."
I sit there and go, "Can we get it made in China so I only have to pay $40?" Like it's like, see, there you go. Sent them, paid him to mod it for me, is what Team Pandora says. So,
nice.
You know,
yeah, JB's a cool cat. He's real friendly. I've talked to him on Twitter, and he's real friendly. You can always ask him questions. So that's what I like. That's what I'm talking about right here. Like this is kind of a community-driven project where people want to play some of these old light gun games, whether it be Duck Hunt, whether it be a lot of the arcade games, House of the Dead, and a lot of those games don't work. You can't, like, unless you have a CRT, you're not going to be able to play them because the light guns don't work.
Folks aren't driving past TVs and stopping, right?
Yeah. This guy. But yeah, so if anyone's watching, go check it out. Go check out Team Pandora's channel on YouTube, and he's got a whole video on it, and it's pretty neat. But let's roll these credits. We just started. Let's go. what's going on? Welcome to the Mid-Geek Christ, episode 206. Another week, another
winter apocalypse.
No, actually, we've gotten here in the Tejas. We hit 80, so we're
weren't your powers being shut off like 3 weeks ago and everyone was freezing?
Yeah, I mean that's how it works.
All right. No, we've got the storm coming in that's hitting the Midwest. That's what we've got. So.
Oh, is that what you guys are getting?
You know, it's sort of like everyone's like, watch out, everybody, buy more toilet paper. And I'm looking outside, and I'm like, this is barely a dusting in Syracuse. Like, it's nothing out here. I don't know if it's like going to be later. Like, I'm going to wake up to it a frozen wasteland, but right now I'm not that worried about it.
Yeah. Yeah. It comes and goes. You know, this time of year where you can't keep track of what's what. Yeah. In general, it's gotten hot. The AC and the AC and the heater come on and off. We've got it set to like auto. So it's like keep the house between this like.
So it clicks on and off.
Yeah. So in the morning it's like heater, and then by the afternoon the AC is blowing.
Oh my god!
Full blast, and I'm like,
energy. I love it.
It's so frustrating because it's like you can't. And then I run colder now, and sometimes Courtney will get home and she's like, "It's sweltering in here. How hot is it?" I'm like, "I don't know. I feel fine." And she's like, "It's 82 degrees in the house. What are you doing?" And I'm like,
I'm gonna have to agree with Courtney on this one.
You know, I agree. I'm like, I'm sorry, I just don't feel it. I don't.
You just keep turning it up? Is it just like you just keep?
Well, I mean, no. At some point, I must have turned it off because I'm like, I'm freezing. So like, anyway, it's just like, yeah. It's a mess.
That's like the spirit of fathers from everywhere coming down on you, like, oh, how dare you touch the thermostat?
Yeah, no, exactly.
No. You put on a sweater in my house. And we don't have AC because we're savages up here in the Northeast.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have barely
comfort. Ridiculous.
Yeah, you just have like these window units that like rattle and you hit them with like sticks to get them going.
Dude, they're so loud. I don't miss it.
Yeah. Look at this.
Maybe I can sleep easier. I don't know.
Did we get spammed? Oh, I feel so low.
You know, you made it. You got that
made it.
Pipe. So it is.
Team Endor, yes, it does. It does have the RGB Pi. I think were you in the chat with them? I think they were giving you crap. I gotta finish my RGB Pi video. It's in the can. I've filmed a lot of it, but there's just so many little things about the project that I don't want to talk about. But I should address it.
Don't want to talk about?
Yeah. So this particular machine right here, what he's talking about is this Astro City. And it's running a Raspberry Pi, but it's running maybe it wasn't you, someone else. In general, like it's running a project based on a Raspberry Pi that allows it to kind of talk to a CRT. It's really great, really low latency. It's amazing. It's made for arcade machines so that you can run arcade games right on an actual like arcade hardware. And
is that a DS on top of your arcade machine?
No.
Okay. All right.
No.
Right there on top of the controllers. What is that box? What is that
this
box
thing?
on top of the controllers? No, lower. Right there.
What is that? It's a capture device that I.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Just making sure.
Yeah. So that's what he's saying is I was giving them crap. They didn't let us know anything. Yeah. So here's the problem with this is that if you haven't been following our comments on YouTube, there's one particular individual that hops on almost every video and is like, when's that RGB Pi update coming? It's been 8 months. It's been whatever. And honestly, I didn't want to release a new update on that video because they're in beta. Like the project is in beta. So they've been releasing like new updates like every few weeks. So every time I'd like have something ready, they're like new update and all these new features would appear. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to wait till it gets out of beta. So now it's in like later beta, not an alpha or whatever they call it.
Never gets out of beta.
Anyway, my point is this team, they're real smart. They're brilliant. But they're Spaniard.
I don't know what that means.
And it doesn't mean anything derogatory. More so that they've got a chip on their shoulder about like the world and like the retro community because they're not noticed like everyone else.
Oh,
so
okay.
They're very like
they're not the US.
Yeah, they're not the US. So they're aggressive and like. And if you ask a question, if the question is deemed dumb, they're gonna call you out on it. And Some people will walk in and be like, how do I plug this into an LCD? And I'm like, it's not for LCDs, it's for CRTs. Like, why are you asking this? This is stupid. And then like,
oh, so they come down on you. I got you.
so they're
Look,
just,
he's like they're proud.
yeah. That's a so it's just a I don't know. They come off wrong. They rub people the wrong way. They've rubbed people in the like retro community the wrong way. And so they're constantly talking like, why aren't we noticed? But you've also pissed off a lot of people to the point that you're like, man, I don't want to talk to you guys. Why do I want to like cover your like project or whatever when you guys are like abrasive? So like there's a little bit of back and forth.
Sounds like real community censorship, Joe. They're not able to practice free speech.
Are you segueing, sir? That's like a segue. Let's talk about that. That's a great segue.
Okay, let's talk about it. I don't know what I was segueing into. I'm excited.
Your segue. So we're talking about the Supreme Court right now. They're going through the process of like they're wanting to see if they should hold social media companies accountable for
for the content derived from their algorithms.
Yes.
What a phenomenal rules lawyering of that particular federal regulation it is, right? Like the idea that somehow internet companies got away with it. They said, hey, we're not putting the content, but we just provide the platform.
I know, right?
We're the town hall into which we've let in all the crazies. We're just the town hall. We can't be held responsible for what they say.
Yeah.
And now some smart person was like, well, can we hold them responsible for what they then go on to show afterwards?
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, you should. Because basically what they're saying is, oh, did you enjoy listening to that crazy person? Why don't you listen to this
other crazy because that means the algorithm knows what they're talking about.
Yes.
That algorithm is distilling that like
and is now providing them with content in a different way than the original video which I searched for.
Yeah.
And the defense that I find interesting, I'm glad you brought this up because I had no idea it was on the show agenda. I didn't read the agenda, everyone. To the surprise of no one, I did not prepare for the show. The interesting thing is the idea that the companies are like, well, it's we're still not generating it. It's just the algorithm. The algorithm helps our users find the things they're looking for. And I'm like, does it? Or does it keep them watching videos, right? Like that's really which one? Because they already got what they needed from the first.
I 100% agree. Here's the problem here. This is a very, very slippery slope, right?
Mm-hmm,
like as content creators, and as geeks, as people that have read 1984, people that we know where this road leads to. I'm as left as it goes for a lot of things, but there's also like a little bit of like, hey, there's that. I never would call myself libertarian in any way because that's just code for like
you're in Texas. That's still like you're still part libertarian.
But there's a side of me that's like big government for certain things seems silly, like especially like my tech companies. But then social media have started off as tech companies, and then now they're like basically Fox News. They're weird, right? Like everything's kind of evolved. So I mean, I have to think about it this way. It's like it's just a bulletin board, a forum, a newsletter, and having the government regulate it seems weird, but also like it's kind of needs to happen. Like you know what I mean? Like
I mean, like you're saying the word regulation, which I find to be interesting. All the government is saying is, you can be held accountable for the stuff put up on your bulletin board now.
But wouldn't that be regulated? Because I mean, essentially, that you could be fined.
No, I mean regulation is fines and allowed being sued. Right, those are two important things. Everyone else is. Right? Why did the tech companies made billions of dollars because they're not? It's interesting. Nothing needs to happen. I mean, it's not censoring so much as discussing. This one I don't know about.
Well, Amazon bought all of Dahl's works, and they're cutting things out.
Are they taking out the butts and penises? Like I don't understand.
I don't remember. I haven't read the story too much, but I know that they're kind of going through it. That one isn't in my agenda, but
artwork and is changing it. That's amazing.
Yeah. I mean,
did they learn nothing from George Lucas? Do they not know how much? Oh, Netflix bought them. All right, thank you, Team Pandora.
Netflix. Sorry, I knew it was one of the
billionaire
big media companies.
That's interesting. I just think so. Again, I don't care. Let YouTube host all the videos they want them to host. Let Reddit have whatever ridiculously bad Reddit thread they want, right?
Yeah.
But if the algorithm recommends it, I think someone should be held responsible for the algorithm, because the algorithm is what's killing us, right? It's killing discourse. It killed Facebook, in my opinion. It's the thing that creates the problem, the divisiveness, the resurging echo chamber until you're watching Nazi videos about on bases on Mars, right? Like that is what the algorithm is doing to you, right? This is what the algorithm is, and no one's accountable for it.
Yeah.
This is a car with an algorithm that designs it to drive that kills children.
Yeah,
well,
so it's
I wrote the algorithm. I'm not responsible for what the car does. That's ridiculous. Someone should be held responsible for it. That's all I'm saying.
No, I agree with you. But it's also but again, it goes back to the two-sidedness of it all. Like, if, for example, you are legitimately someone that doesn't know about a topic, and you search for said topic, said topic takes you to said video of random person that really spouts lots of propaganda. At that point, what ends up happening is they watch that video. The video sounds very educated, very on the nose, on knowledge, high production value, etc. And then so they go, this is interesting. So then, because you watched one video from that person, you get fed more of that video of that individual, which then feeds them more of the rhetoric, which is probably incorrect. There is no fact checking. There is nothing telling them that it's wrong or right or whatever. And so that's how you end up just going down this rabbit hole, where when you log into this social media or YouTube or whatever, all you're getting is bombarded by that particular type of video and people that watch those videos.
And not just every website now has it, because you've got this cookie, you've got this information about you that has you interested in this stuff, right? Because they have you encapsulated in this anonymous bubble that now they're like, well, this person likes this one thing. Everywhere they go, they're going to see this, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to live in that algorithm world. I loved YouTube when it first started. It was great. It was informative. There was cool stuff.
Well, I mean, the algorithm has its bonuses, right? Like if it does. Like, it really depends on what you're looking for, right? Like, I don't go to YouTube to search for political news or news in general. I'm going to, like, how do you disassemble the Sony DSC-3584? And so then I go to that guy's video, and that guy's video is like, I'd work on retro, like, camcorders, and all of a sudden I'm like down vinyl rabbit hole. And, like, that's the type of algorithm that I enjoy, because that's feeding me my hobby. But it's where you start going into, like, well, I'm now going to YouTube, not a source of actual valid information, but a place where anyone can put up a video for medical advice. What is the symptom of this? Well, all of a sudden you're watching this person's video that's telling you to inject yourself with, like, snake venom, because that's going to, solve you, and give you.
So you need some sort of nerd hub. Some sort of.
I mean, that's what I use YouTube for. Like, when you open up my algorithm page, it's video games, it's video game news, tech news, food and cooking, and that's it. Like, that's why I pay for premium. One, I don't get the ads, so I don't get any of the algorithm of the ads, and two, I'm essentially, like, that is my, like, what's next? What's my subscriptions? Like, I don't subscribe to anything that's, like, giving me that. So, like, the algorithm works for me because all of a sudden I'm discovering more of the topic that I want. That's what the algorithm was for. The problem is when you let the algorithm run wild, it'll associate any type of topic. It doesn't matter if it's a hobby.
So like, your argument is that if you train your algorithm, you should be fine.
But no. That I'm not saying for it. I'm saying that's what this is the Terminator argument, right? This is like, these machines were built for good. They were built to help humanity. But if you feed it constant violent videos, what do you think that robot is going to do? It's going to immediately turn on humanity.
You know what it's going to do. It's going to
feed
more violent videos.
I totally understand it. It's just one of those scenarios.
We don't have to talk about. We know what it does, so we need to stop it, right? And pause for a minute and say, okay, tech companies, you've made your billions of dollars. We've learned some important lessons in the 20-year social experiment we've done on all of society. Why don't we pause for a minute and take those results and make something better?
We did. It's called Chat GPT.
That's
it's exactly what we did, right? And then we sold it to Microsoft.
Oh, dude, Microsoft bought it.
Well, I mean, selling and buying, there's always everyone's got a price, and Microsoft went fat.
I look forward to a gorgeous future where AI generated newspaper articles are commented on by AI commenters, and literally there's no human interaction. Somehow people are making money.
I want to make a movie where it's just like
AI
it's
content,
like
AI comment.
cities are covered in vines, tumbleweeds are rolling by, the animals are eating like the grass in the middle of like Times Square, and all you see is a laptop still on, and you see refreshes of videos and artwork and comments, but there's no humans left, but they're just arguing against each other.
It's like Twitter, the latest Twitter trend is just AI bots yelling at each other.
Back and forth. And the craziness about that would be like at some point, would the algorithm actually divide into two sides, just like humanity? Would there be a left wing and a right wing side on the algorithm, like the AI? Would there be?
Of course there would be. They would have refined it into weaponized sides. So Team Pandora says the issue is if you give more control to the left, the right will get that control and further their control and vice versa. You're absolutely right. The more control you give, the more that can be used against you. So I find it interesting the use of the word control there, right? So I don't know that regulations are control so much as guidance, right? We don't control putting poison into water. We build regulations to say you shouldn't. We're going to punish you. So let's talk about content and say content is poison for our minds. Some content is. We should regulate the content that is poison. We're not saying you can't go get poison content. There's a lot of places on the web you can get poison content, right? Maybe we should have places that are clearly delineated lines.
Isn't that what 4chan is?
You want to go get?
I mean, we have legitimately made.
I feel like 4chan is like nothing now. 4chan is like a spicy meal now, right? Like it's easy.
What's going on, video game?
Hey, thanks for jumping on, video game Vottery. So I just think there has to be some way to find a middle ground, a regulated ground, a space that we can create that does not have this. Right. And I'm not I'm not talking about getting rid of all content. And you're right. Like if the left is given control, they will give us a socialized medicine and a beautiful world. We can all talk to each other nicely. The second, the conservatives will give us, I don't know, gas chambers, right? So like on one side or the other, we just need to pick a side, right? And figure out where's the middle ground between those two. Obviously, I'm half joking.
Love it.
But I've got feelings. So yeah, Team Pandora, poison for the mind, TikTok, right? We know TikTok has its problems, Chinese owned, blah, 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 blah. It also wastes a lot of time. It creates algorithms. Suicide rates are up among multiple populations. There's got to be some evidence here. Let's pause for a moment. Our playground is full of shit. Let's stop, clean up the shit, and talk about how we shouldn't shit where we play. And that's all I'm asking for.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Come in and say, stop shitting here and figure out how to fix it. And let's get together and fix it. And that's exactly it.
I agree. There's 100% on that one. There's no wrong answer. But that's
you can't even release a movie without a female lead anymore without everyone coming out and dropping their pants and shitting on it, right? There's interesting moments where you're like, well, this movie's too woke, and there's people coming out being like, it's not woke enough, and it's the same fucking movie, y'all. Like, it's wild, the arguments we have on the internet, and it's because the algorithm rewards it. How many videos do you see, where it's like, the worst thing D&D ever did? Oh, like, it's ludicrous.
Yeah.
Rewarding. And I guess I named myself right for this one, right? The hater is that.
That's why you're my buddy. That's why you're my partner. This is the way we work. This is you're my peanut butter to my chocolate. Like it works.
Team Pandora, you and I, we agree.
Yeah.
You know why Wonder Woman kicked ass? Because they beat up Germans, right? That's what we all like to see. Very simple, clear-cut bad guys. 1984 was confusing. Didn't make any sense. What a waste of actors' talent. It's just everyone was just wasted on.
There was nuggets of fun in that movie, but
overall, you could see the kernel of a movie, and some committee came over and just ruined every single scene.
Total committee movie.
Total committee ruined every scene.
Oh man. So speaking of committee,
destroyed the DC universe single-handedly.
This is I'm gonna spicy hot take, folks.
Are we gonna talk about that movie preview that dropped on Thursday last week that you showed me that I was like, I want to see this movie. Did we talk about this on Mid-Geek? Did I imagine this?
No, what movie are we talking about here?
the one based on a video game franchise that everyone's like, let's go see this movie. Tetris.
Oh, thank you. I forgot. Thank you so much. Oh my God, let's bring that up. We got to talk about that. That's a great one. Thank you. I completely forgot about that. Let me pull that.
I have not stopped thinking about it since I've seen the preview. So I don't know if you know, but
has everyone in chat seen this? Like, have we seen the trailer for? This is wild. We're gonna watch this.
I showed it to my wife, who I would describe as discerning and not interested in nerd content. And even she was like, well, that looks like an interesting film. Let's go see that. Bring it up, producer.
Yeah, bring it up. Boom, 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 boom.
I agree with you, Dan. I was pleasantly surprised. Maybe my standards was we talked a lot about it.
Share right there. There we go, baby. Sorry, I didn't have my. Let's turn that volume up and go.
Most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. I played for 5 minutes. I still see falling blocks in my dreams. Art and math all working in magical synchronicity. It's the perfect game. Tetris?
Tetris.
I love Tetris.
Tetris. I don't get it.
Tetris.
It's a combination of tetra, Greek for 4, and tennis.
Tennis.
The Russian inventor, he likes tennis. Hansel. Yeah.
This game isn't just addictive, it stays with you. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Hank, only 10 other people in the world have seen what you're about to see. It's called the Game Boy.
Package with Tetris.
Can you get us the ring?
The Soviet Union had worldwide rights. Nothing gets out easily.
I'm gonna go to Moscow.
You're walking into a country
That still considers America enemy numero uno.
Okie dokie.
You sure you don't have to talk to your wife about this first?
This is 100% facts, sir. I don't know what you're talking
I have
about.
to bet that will win.
Not literally.
Listen. Have you ever heard our apartment this quiet before?
This is the inventor of Tetris.
Your game is brilliant. I'm gonna make you a millionaire.
Mr. Rogers, have you ever negotiated with the Soviets?
We're here for Tetris.
We все здесь только ради денег.
What do you say? I don't speak Russian.
The most powerful man in Communist Party is watching you and your family.
Do you know where your husband is?
What the hell is going on?
The world
Totally turned into a thriller. I was
The
like,
Soviet Union will not be left behind.
You want to play with the big
Fire
boys?
remix.
This is how the world works.
oh yeah, this remix is good too.
This is insane.
We can't protect you.
Sometimes you gotta forget the rules.
What a mix! What a mix!
Go, 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 go!
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
What a hype! What a hype
It's
trailer!
about to implode.
They're lying.
Everybody's lying.
Go home. Cavalry is coming.
We don't have time.
I have a plan.
So good.
Oh, come on. You guys are the kings of cliffhangers.
Come on.
Not too bad.
So that's coming right to Apple TV Plus on March 31st.
To March 31st.
Again, if we talked about it on the show, Apple TV Plus has become kind of like the what is it? The what's the art studio?
They're Netflix 5 years ago.
Yeah, they're Netflix 5 years ago, right? There you go.
They're going to put out some fire productions and then fill their service with Drek.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Yeah, hopefully not. A24. Thank you. They're very like A24. And yeah, video game. That trailer looks great. The mix is great. Everything. Like, I was sent that trailer and I was like,
I know you sent it to me and I was like, Joe, why would you insult me with this?
Freaking Tetris trailer. I was like,
Battleship the movie.
Watch this. Watch it. Sure enough, we're like, absolutely mind blowing. Looks great. Again, I would have never ran that route, right? Like,
what an excellent take, right?
Yeah.
Hey, this game came out. Oh, it's great. It's good. It's good. And the Game Boy reveal, all the little pieces are coming together in this real nice way. I dig it. Trailer construction, again, so important, right? Like, you watch a trailer like that, it makes a good movie. You watch a trailer like Ant-Man and you're like, all right. Or Guardians of the Galaxy, for me, I was like, all right, I'll watch it, maybe.
Yep.
Best Tetris game in your opinion, the one on the Game Boy. I mean, I don't. Hot take. The very.
But yeah,
first
I'm a big fan of Game Boy one. There's a few different versions that I enjoy. There's a really cool Disney one that's really good. There's a couple of crossover ones that are great. The newest one is my favorite though. Tetris. What is it?
Like Tetris Zen, the one with the
effect. Tetris Effect. It's done by the same. Well, I mean, Tetris in general is always
Tetris Effect. That's it.
Tetris Effect. It's it's done by the same director and producer that did Lumens.
Yeah.
And it's that the beat goes with the with the ambiance. It goes. I turn off all the lights. The OLED is like pitch black with like the background. I really zoom in and like just like play.
You get into that
music,
flow. It's
get
just
in that flow, and I love Tetris. I will put some hours into that when I'm just like.
They've done studies where they've had like students play Tetris before going into an exam, and students not. The students who play Tetris do better because it kicks off their brain into that flow, right?
Yeah.
They're like getting into it, so it's amazing. It's the perfect flow game ever. Dan says, everyone here knows the actual history of Tetris. This is why we call you the knowledge, Dan.
Yeah. So if you're interested in that, there is a great video. There is a great, I will just put it.
He said Game Historians Tetris.
There's a great. That's exactly right. The Game Historians. So go check out the Gaming Historians episode. It is an hour-long documentary because he does documentaries. An hour-long documentary talking about about the history of Tetris, and so that's a good one. Sure.
Wait, put that up again because I want to see what your algorithm is showing you there in the
look. Video games, check it out. Video games, Japanese lo-fi video games, the story of the Spyro.
A lot of gaming story,
and like lo-fi and like study music, work music.
See, this is like I need to get work done. I need to not look at these distractions.
I'm not lying. If I go to my home, I got Batman trailer, video games. Shorts or comic book stuff. We've got trailers, tech, Nintendo stuff. We got my YouTube movies.
You pay for your service, right? Because I dread going to YouTube. What does mine look like? Trash.
It's like here's some ramen, like how to make ramen.
Oversharing? Are we over? You know what? I don't even log into it. Do I? Oh yeah, I do. Why do I have? I can't get rid of these Magic the Gathering ones. They just keep showing up.
See,
I probably watched the last time I watched the Magic the Gathering video was like 10 years ago, and
that's exactly right. So like when I'm in this room right here, I'll turn on the TV, I'll put one of those like Japanese funk, future funk ones, and it's just playing in the background. Got the music going. I play on the arcade. I put my headphones on, like I just like relax in here into Zen. And so like that's why that a lot of it kind of keeps popping up because I don't know, like why I've gotten to the point where like I don't want the algorithm that is Spotify to give me music. I want the algorithm of YouTube to just give me music with no lyrics. Just give me more study music. Give me more.
I dig it.
Yeah.
Dan, no, I will not show you.
See the algorithm, baby. It's like the shame.
There's some.
I don't think I
wildly radical left-wing videos that I enjoy watching.
Oh man,
Coach just wants to hide his porn. Yes, I do.
So speaking of feeling old here, let's go down. Let's go down old in the mid-geek crisis that is old. This is something. I mean, I have two boys, but I've never steered them towards the type of toy or movie or games.
Sure.
As a matter of fact, my oldest and my youngest both went through their My Little Pony phase because they watched it and played. We had the little figures we'd collect. Rock on, no problems. This is something that I never went down with them, but and I don't know if your kiddo would did these, but
we did not. No,
the historical dolls. They are now doing a 1990s one, historical.
The outfit better be extreme.
Oh, it's like Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen right here.
This is like bullshit. Come on, come on. If the pants aren't on backwards, this is not legit.
Look at this bedroom right here. It's got the little alien head.
This is Clarissa Explains It All 90s. Is that what this is?
Yeah, probably.
Right, I can get behind this. Look, Rose says, "Get off my lawn." You and I together, Rolls.
Just yeah.
Pizza Hut Book It program. This is sweet.
Yeah.
I can dig it. These are the big tall dolls, right?
Yeah, I mean they're pricey. I know.
I don't know how anyone our age can bring them into the house having grown up with Chucky.
I don't think they're that big. They're like a little bit bigger, like not as big as a Chucky, right?
They're like 18 inches, right? They're
like
they're taller than a GI Joe, but not as big as a
not
Chucky.
as big as like a freaking Chucky.
Still pretty scary though. I don't need.
Yeah, but
I don't need an American Girl.
they're expensive. They're collector. You're supposed to like buy the clothes and whatever. It's a whole thing. In Houston, I know many big major cities they've got, but in Houston they've got the American Girl Cafe, and I had a buddy of mine that worked there. He had they sell the stuff. They sell the outfits and the new line and whatever, but then like next door they have like a cafe where you can have like tea and like serve like little cakes and stuff and come in with your mom and have like a little date and whatever else. And
so you have like tea time with your American
yeah.
Girl?
All right. So I thought it's pretty cool. It's wholesome, and also they've been pretty good about like this type of stuff that they release. Like they're not, they're very friendly. I think they've even got some LGBT girls now. They actually have like outfits and whatnot with like pride flags and whatever else. So like they were showing representation. They're not precious moments. They're not like, that's, if I remember correctly, they're not totally like this weird, like, yeah. So, but yeah. Anyway, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. I mean, like it's a nerd cafe for American dolls. That's pretty cool, right? Why the heck not? Let's do it.
It's a tabletop cafe, but just for.
So now they're mining the 90s for content.
Yeah, of course they are. Well, I mean. Have you seen this room? Like in my mind, it's like I live there. Like,
I mean, we talked about Tetris just a minute ago, and he's got a Tetris sign up there.
Yeah, I do. I was like, right there, buddy, right there. Oh man.
So, yeah. Well, we can take it stoically because we're used to it in our heads, maybe. But like, how is the younger generation going to react to the aughts or the 2010s getting mined? Right? Like,
I'm trying to think like. So I was talking to my wife about this, and it's interesting because the 2010s, I can't think of anything iconic like visually. I mean, lingo. There's a lot of lingo change, especially post smartphone, right?
Yeah.
Emojis and all of that. 2008 onward would be like the beginning of the emoji and the texting and the all that. That would be like the new IM, the new instant messenger, all that kind of stuff. That type of like. Email, you've got mail. Instead, it's the sound of like a tweet or whatever. But my point is I can't think of like the visual aspect outside of the smartphone. Like the 90s, you've got like the grunge wear and the like.
So you can't imagine the fashion of the
the fashion of the early of the aughts is weird to me because
Minecraft. Yeah, that's what it is.
That's still going now, Team Pandora. Like my kiddo is like.
I just spent the last 2 days playing it with my daughter and my brother. Like it was a lot of fun. This is what we did.
Yeah, like it's still going.
2020s, you have masks. Yes, that's true, Dan. But that's not until 2040, right?
I mean, that's 20 years after the 2000s, right? Like.
Oh, I guess we're waiting 30 years. Is that before we
I don't know. I don't know what the
we're officially old. Yeah, 30 years before they make an American Girl doll of your decade, I guess is what we're looking at here, right? That's
so my sister is about to turn 30, and so now she's getting her stuff in the historical aspect.
Know that Humble Bundle has a Sakura bundle for cheap. What's a Sakura? I don't know what Sakura is.
Let's
do you know
take a look here? He's a bundle. Let's go take a look.
Team Pandora, I don't buy Humble Bundles, right? Because it's too much content that I will never get through. Is that?
Yeah.
I just feel guilty about all that content collecting dust in the corner.
He's actually the one individual I know that would remove stuff from his Steam library. He's like, how do I hide this from my library? I don't want it there.
I was like, why are you asking me this? That's horrifying. Let me see. Can I my Steam? I'll show off.
You know what? I'm not going to pull it up. Steamy Sakura Special.
Oh, is it naughty? All right. No, that's. I buy that on Itch.io.
Bravo, Team Pandora.
Is it dirty?
It's definitely fun times.
Is it? All right, I can get behind that. All right, let me see. Can I actually show this? Let's see here.
Spent the last 4 days trying to link the MS account. Your Microsoft account to PS4?
For Minecraft, I assume.
Oh, Minecraft. Oh.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Good luck with that. Yeah.
You're better off building a PlayStation 4 inside Minecraft to play.
Yeah.
You're better off.
I mean, let's be honest here. As much as So last night I was on my buddy Steve Wright's podcast, and we had a long conversation about Sony and Microsoft. And so in the latest news, if anyone's been following along with the ordeal that is the Microsoft Activision like merger, this should have happened a while ago, but Sony's pulling some interesting tactics here. They are really pulling the cards about saying like they're doing monopolistic ventures, and they're throwing money out when clearly the evidence has been that Sony for the past like 15 years has done nothing but block Microsoft by purchasing, doing money hats, and paying for exclusivities of specific companies to make sure that those games do not show up on the Microsoft consoles, so that they can actually pledge the whole exclusive on PlayStation, right? Yeah. So like they don't like that type of action when it's towards them, but they sure as heck have been doing it for years. And sure enough, Minecraft is one of them, right? So Minecraft is a game that is owned by Microsoft now. It was purchased years ago, and the updates come out, and when the new updates come out, they do come out for Sony. But let's say Sony and the PlayStation world is not the priority for the Microsoft like environment. You have to log in with your Microsoft account to play Minecraft online on a PlayStation device. So that's weird. But that's the times we live in, man. I mean, some of these companies are realizing that we talked about it on the show last night, and we've mentioned it a lot on this show. Games, AAA games cost millions of dollars, folks. They cost as much, if not more, than movies. And
and a lot of that is because of the amount of overhead in regards to the executives at the top that get paid fortunes, right?
Right.
That's part of it, right? But
right.
Yes, absolutely.
So these games are huge, but they cost so much money. So even Sony has realized this recently, and so that's why we're now getting so many of the PlayStation exclusive games: The Last of Us, Horizons, Death Stranding, Spider-Man remastered, Spider-Man Miles Morales. All those are now on Steam. You could play them on a Microsoft device, which is Windows. So like,
I desperately just want to play them on my Xbox though. Like,
yeah, I'm waiting for the way that you could like either stream it or play it, or anyway, there's going to be a way eventually, or just install Windows 10 on your, install Windows 10 or 11 on a Microsoft device on your.
That's true.
Eventually, it'll happen. My point is like, even they are realizing that they can't get away with the fact that when you're exclusive, that means that you're really funneling your profit margin to one particular device. But if you split, you can make more money. Right? Yeah. Or you relaunch the game, right? So it never comes out the day one on PC, but if Spider-Man Miles Morales came out on PlayStation 2 years ago and you don't own a PlayStation, but you're like, man, I really love Spider-Man. All of a sudden you release it on PC. Now all of a sudden that game that wasn't selling very well now is selling at $40, $60 all over
this is
again.
what developers have realized, yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, console makers who have hoped to keep these wall gardens up, they're seeing their walls collapse, right? It's pretty much it. Yeah, I'm with you there.
Yeah, but we've talked. Walled gardens are silly nowadays, right? We're gonna get our Game Pass on Switch. We're gonna get it's gonna happen. The walls are slowly crumbling. These companies are realizing that the cost of hardware is too high to develop every 5 years, leaving a whole library of games on a console and then moving on to new hardware, and then the new hardware launches and you have no games to put on it is ridiculous. When we can now go, hey, here's a new console, but by the way, it plays all your old games, and some of these games look better on this console. Yeah. Now it feels new again, and these games
feels like all we've done is reinvent PCs. But whatever, I'm not gonna.
That's none of this lingo is new for PC gamers, right? This is all the same. It's just we're having to teach console gamers that, by the way, tech is the same tech. When NVIDIA or AMD releases a new video card, that core that they're releasing is going to trickle down into your console.
Trickle down.
That's the way it works, because they've got to find a way to price it at $500 max.
Well,
right?
You're still judging us console losers.
Let's just say logic dictates that when you have X number of dollars invested in a project, you would want to get as much as possible. Right. So, Rules, this again, I'm beating a dead horse on this topic, but I have to reemphasize it again over and over every time this topic comes up. Is one of the bigger outrages in gaming within this generation was in the Switch, which, by the way, is a fantastic system and has lots of things, has been that the Switch has become kind of the de facto place for either re-releases, remasters. by Nintendo. And it's because, perfect example is about 90%, if not more, of Nintendo's first party games that were released on the Wii U were ported over to the Switch.
Perfect.
And they charged them $49, $59 sometimes. And people were like, oh God, I don't understand why. Like the only people that were yelling that were people that actually bought the games or just want to yell. Yeah. A lot of those games were not played. Again, the Wii U had like a 10 million console install base total.
Really small.
And out of 10 million that were sold, how many bought every game, right? That you can't say every copy of every Nintendo game.
Joe's one of them.
Yeah. So with that said, some of these games, they invested tons and tons of money. Again, AAA titles. A good example for this one was Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. Early on in the Switch lifetime, that got a re-release. And that was a game that came out on the Switch, came out on the Wii U. It was great, but like, who played it? Like, go look at the numbers.
Go get to life. It gets to be sold forever. And we get to see things like, oh, we're going to sell you an Xbox 360 game remastered at $40 when it was $60 years ago. And we can keep collecting those $40, and we'll put it on sale every so often for $10.
On sale, and we got new achievements, and it runs at 4K 60, and it's got new multiplayer. You know, like, see, that's exactly right. There's that itch right there. It's like, oh, God, I saw that. New achievements. That's
World says maybe if Sobe were available in more grocery stores, I might still be able to enjoy an ice cold Sobe beverage. Rolls. That's hurtful. That's hurtful to the Sobe fans out there. Crappy, if you don't know what's a Sobe, it's because I killed it. That's why. Because in this timeline, yep, I killed it. That's me.
Was it? Why was it? That's why. Oh no.
It's because I had to field phone calls from people like you complaining about your lean green tea not being available. And I said, you know what? It's never going to be available.
That's right, baby. This was good. One huge reason opening up for third party and region free. Now we can play. Yeah, no, again, Theodore, that's great. The Switch has been kind of a success story for Nintendo in multiple branches. It has been one of those, like, it was unique. It was a console, yet a handheld. It was priced pretty well, competitively.
Yeah, I have two of them.
Yeah, exactly. Priced competitively. The accessories aren't too bad. I mean, the Joy-Cons are expensive, but the fact that technically, I mean, I'm putting up big quotes here. Technically, it's probably the only console you get out of the box. You get two controllers.
Yeah, technically,
that's what I'm saying. Technically, I mean, yeah, you're holding it, but I mean, if you want to play
the Xbox, my old controllers worked fine with my new Xbox for the first time ever in the history of systems. It felt like I could
That's another one.
Play with my old controllers.
Being able to Microsoft being able to pull out your Xbox One controller from 4 years ago,
pair it and be done. Fantastic,
and it works. Backwards compatibility has been, didn't exist on the Switch first, but now we're getting more and more trickle down with the Nintendo Online. Again, you don't own them, but it is, they're there, and it's not all the ones that you want. Everyone's like, where's this one obscure game that I want to play? I'm like, no, it's not there. But let's be honest here, you can just emulate it like every other method of play, right? Like, that said, again, the Switch is there, and that's how it's going to work from now on. And consoles will move on, but I don't think we're moving on when it comes to the library. I think the library of this generation onward will keep moving on with us for a while. I can't imagine us not being able to play our Xbox One games, our PlayStation 4 games, our Switch games on the next iteration and the next iteration.
You can't go backwards. You've given it to this. I can't imagine anybody being excited.
Yeah, and again, the cost of development. I can't imagine any of the big companies releasing a console with a cleared wall going, everything from the old console stays on the old one, and now you can only play Sony PlayStation 6 games on the PlayStation 6.
No,
because you would launch a console with one game because it costs.
You'd launch your new console with some sort of Xbox or PlayStation Pass system where you can play all the old ones or release them in rotation, 150, 200 games on it. Yeah, no, it's gonna be.
No, you're right. I mean, some of these consoles you don't own yourself because they're tied to online and services and whatever else. So honestly, if those services ever die, you don't get a lot of that content back. Again, us as Game Pass users know this because the machine is essentially a streaming box. Well, I say streaming, you download them, but it's Netflix, right? Like you download the movie to the hard drive and watch it. You download the game to play it, but if that service goes away, there's no library. I don't have anything, and
we own nothing, and we will be buried penniless, Joe. That's what
I'm buried in that.
Yep. You're not even going to give that to the kids.
No, that's
You know what? You'll be dead. They'll do whatever they want.
It's in my will. Like that's my coffin right there. That one, the Astro City. Like
We're just going to put you in a little box. We'll put the box inside the thing, and we'll just.
It's in the coin compartment right there. Right there, baby. Right there.
Ooh, what if we pressed your like ashes into coins, and that's what you needed to play? Oh shit, that's good.
We can do that.
Oh, that's cursed coins. I love it.
You don't own a console. I mean, let's be honest here. Those aren't consoles. They're Linux or Android devices. They don't have their own.
They're hobbies. They're hobbies. You hobbies.
Let's be real here. I mean, if anything, if you want to talk consoles where you own content, that would be the Evercade, right? I mean, we've talked about it on the show before. And the Switch. I mean, technically, the Switch. If you buy the cartridges, some of the games come complete, especially if you wait long enough. Whatever. Most of them you can pop in and play. I mean, again, I get that, but the Evercade is a wonderful modern console that's retro and still gets carts, and you can buy right now. We've talked about it on the show before.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's the Evercade, right? So it's.
Do you ever get your Evercade? Do you?
Yeah, I have one. But I don't have the handheld version. I have the console one, and I have this one, the VS.
It looks suspiciously a lot like a Switch there.
I mean, yeah, this one right here is the new handheld version. It's a 4.3 inch. But what's cool about it, again, it is old games. A lot of these are arcade games that never got ported into. It's a legit way to emulate, right? So like you actually buy cartridges, and they come in like really cool boxes with like manuals and like artwork and just that and releases, and just again, we can have these boxes with tons of ROMs on them, or you can, if you really want to own them, this is a way to do it. Like you do own them because the system, while it can go online for updates,
I don't recommend any of those games.
You don't recommend any of them?
What's TOA Plan? What is that?
So those are companies, publishers. So like if you look at these right here, so like for example, the IRAM games, it would be stuff like R-Type.
Okay, I know R-Type. Okay,
yeah. I mean, a lot of these arcade games.
I know these games. Okay,
yes, you know them. You never realized who the publishers were.
Yeah, I didn't know who the publisher was.
Yeah, so the top one arcade one.
Everyone, I don't know anything about games.
So Tiger Heli, Guardian. I mean, a lot of these games I remember.
I know. I recognize.
Truxton, yeah, Zero Wing.
Yeah, I do. Speedball, good, solid. All these games, solid.
Yeah, Snow Brothers. I mean, again, it's an option, but that's cool that there are companies that they're kind of thinking out of the box. This is like.
So do they buy the licenses for these games?
Yeah, so they go out, they shop it, they go, hey, Toplin, hey, Taito, hey, Capcom, do you want to release some of your
Don't you want to make money on your 50-year-old content?
Well, don't you want to make money off the ROMs that people are already downloading for free anyway? Why don't you put a few of those on a cart? It's going to be a small print, but you put them on our console and we sell them on
a bespoke system for bespoke clientele.
Right.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
And it becomes boutique.
Yeah, I get it. I dig it.
So, I mean, again, they're
a Sega Master emulator. I need Great Baseball. What a solid.
Of course, there's Sega Master emulators, sir. We'll talk about it later. You could play them on your Xbox.
Call me on the our phone.
Yeah.
You can still order the television.
Oh yeah, the Amico, the fabled Amico, is still a thing somewhere.
Yeah,
so speaking of consoles that are dead on arrival, oh my god, I'm gonna get so much hate.
All right, what we're going to close out on a hate speech? Is that what we're going to do?
Yeah, we're at 54 over. So the launch today, or today, was it yesterday? Today. This bad boy launched.
Oh, sweet! All right, the PlayStation VR.
Okay. The PlayStation VR 2 has launched. It is out. It is available. If you've got $600 plus $500
lying around
for your console, just burning a hole in your pocket, you can go pick up a PSVR. This is an interesting one. Again, they're like, oh, it's already library's getting exciting and stronger.
Thanks, Polygon.
So this is, I have multiple opinions about this, right? But the PSVR 2 it's a great console, like it's a great headset, but it's also like held back by certain things. So one, the entry to it isn't $600; it's $500 plus $600, right? So you're $1,100 to play the newest, greatest VR system. That doesn't include games, or you might get one with the package. And then it's tethered when all the new kids and all the new, headsets are wireless. They're wireless, like the Oculus 2, the Oculus 1. All of them have their own wireless system, And even if you want to play with your PC, you can do wireless link on him, and it'll stream your computer to it so that you don't have the tether. You can move around, which is, again, kind of a weird thing. Also, they work with other things. It's got its own system, plus you can plug it into your Mac. You can plug it into your PC. This headset, while it's USB-C, doesn't work on PC. So you can't even use it as a headset with other VR games.
So it's a $500 32X. You have to plug it into your system.
You plug it into your system and play. I mean, there's some good. I don't even want to call them games. There's some games that are coming out. Like they just announced Resident Evil, a remake for VR coming for it. Which is, if that's your thing, that's cool. My problem has been they announced Demio is coming out on it, which is again one of the great games I love
You've
playing.
been pitching that game for 10.
Yeah, I've been pitching that game for a while. It's a great VR game. It's out on Oculus. It's out on PC. It's out on the Oculus by itself. I could just sit on my couch and play that game, or you can spend $1,100 and play it tethered on your PlayStation. My point is like some of these games have already been released on other systems, and then the exclusives aren't all out yet. And then the ones that are out feel like really glorified tech demos. There's just no killer app for it right now.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine dumping $600 on a headset for nothing. There's nothing out to play right now. There's just really like the Horizons game looks.
So when does yours arrive, Joe?
It's not. Definitely not. That was definitely. This has been one of those like hard no's. I'm not even remotely looking. The only way I would get this is the first price drop or a big trade. Like I trade something for something and I pay very minimal for it.
Yeah, that's good. Crappy video store.
I wish I could dump that amount of money on it, but I just can't. Like it's just there's nothing
yet. Wait until it comes out.
I just can't.
It's not one of the games he loves, and he's still not doing it. Right? That's a big deal. I like it. Oh, that's I mean, I can't believe Sony's going to drop a peripheral that has barely any support. Right?
Also, again, if you had the PSVR 1, none of the games are backwards compatible. Even though PS4 games are backwards compatible with the PS5. The headset physically can't play the games from the PSVR 1 because the way that you play doesn't work.
Boo. All right, that's a boo.
So if you already have like a big library, I mean, that would have been awesome. They should have found a way to make that library. That way, again, this is the back to that previous conversation. How do you launch a new console with only 1 or 2 games nowadays? Like people want more. You should have had some backwards compatibility. Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you find a way? That should have been priority number 1. Even though it's different tech, find a way to retroactively make the controllers work and make all of it work.
Stuff to use, yes.
Yeah.
Rita jumps on and says, OMG, I forgot what day it was, what I missed. Rita, Joe's been ranting about the PlayStation VR for about an hour and a half. And we also talked a little bit about his Amico pre-order. That's we're wondering when that's gonna arrive. And we talked a little bit about my Star Citizen purchase, right? So we're just we're talking about bad choices we made in the last 10 years.
Oh man.
Yeah. So all right. So wait, you want to end it with the laugh? Well, yeah.
What's been going on?
No, not what's been going on. Let me see if I know how to do this. Let's see. Present. All right. This is just for you, Joe. Since you mentioned it, sir. You mentioned it.
I did. Oh, this is good.
All right. Here we go. So, in case folks are curious as to how many games I have in my life, I think. What is that? 9? Is that 9?
9? How is anyone able to have a Steam account? You know what? I'm gonna go gift him a game right now. I'm gonna gift
one
him
of those games is a game you gifted.
It's Rise of Industry. No,
Rise of Industry's on there. Yep.
Rise of Industry was one that I gifted you. Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's for Mid-Geek Crisis After Dark.
Yeah, After Dark, baby.
Patreon only service, y'all, and the Patreon is secret. You have to find
it. Surely it's been released already, right? Right?
Do you see it on my Steam list, Team Bandori? Do you see it on the Steam list?
Team Bandori, if you were to look at his hours, can you click on what is that? What does that say? Hours played?
It's really too much.
What is that? Can we click on that? I need to see. What is that? Is that 11,000 hours? What is that?
Wait, how do I do that again? I have to click
right there.
click on
it. Click on it. Click on it. Playtime. Is that 11,000 hours?
You know what's really pathetic? It's 11,000 hours and only 114 achievements. That shows you how bad
11,662. How many is that? What is that? Math here. 11,662 hours to days. Let's go to
This is I should update though.
It is 485 days.
That seems like a normal amount of time. That seems like a normal amount of time. It's like 5 years old, right? That's like normal. There was this glorious time where I worked from home and then the pandemic. So,
I haven't spent a year and a half of my life doing anything.
So, all right. So here's cautious revealed, right? I have 9 games in my list, right? I think I've hit in about 12 or 13 other ones. And I only play one of them, right? I only play one of them. Literally only play one game.
I love that. Actually, I can believe you because if you look at the ones on the left there, they're all in gray except Project Zomboid, which is white, which means that it's actually installed.
Well, I've uninstalled a lot of games for the record, so I compulsively...
A lot. By lot, he means like 1 or 2 because he's only got 9 to choose from. I don't understand. I gotta gift him another game, folks. This is gonna be crazy.
This is not a cry for help. This is showing you how in control I am of my life.
Oh God, how in control of your life. I love it.
No, there's more than 3K hours a year, right? Come on, that can't be right. That can't be. Why you guys got to call me? How long has the game been out? I don't even know. When did that game drop?
Let's see. Civ 6.
I deleted a lot of games. You know what? I did show this for you guys to make fun of me, but now I'm feeling a little hurt. When did you do these?
Oh man,
I don't even know when I dropped. When did this game drop? How do you know this?
October 25th. Wait, no, that's 4. Oh, I put the I before the V.
Come on, get it together. 2016. Thank you.
2016.
3 years of which were pandemic work from home time. Okay, so you got to give me, So he didn't even delete the whole game.
Yeah, delete the packs. Yeah, it's pretty on point there. Yeah,
You guys are killing me. You're killing me. But it's true. It's true. I can't.
Civ 5, 100. There we go. Yeah.
Good. Those are good numbers. Rookie. Those are good numbers. Rookie, though.
Gotta pump those numbers up, baby.
Pump those numbers up.
Yeah, no, it hasn't. It hasn't because I mean they just they've
got this leader pack. It's games of service now, right? They just sort of release more and more leaders that are slightly different from previous leaders.
Civ 6 is already a pretty good engine. They've got it pretty optimized.
It's pretty good. It's not. I enjoy it, but I don't feel like I play it well at the end game. Like whatever. I could talk about this for days. All right, so watch the trailer for Sisu Inglorious Bastards vibe to it. So let's let that be the last day. We got a Dan recommendation. Let's hope it's not a red band. Let's rock it out. Of course, I mean Team Pandora has to be in development, right? I don't want to live in a world where 6 is the last civilization. That would be. He says, "Oh, welcome to Mid-Geek After Dark."
Oh man! All right, folks, that does it. We missed it. We showed the trailer and everything. Go rewind. Go watch it. Rewind. Hop on YouTube and rewind it. We talked about
calls into the meeting late and asks for what happens, right? You guys don't catch me up on what just happened.
Do you have the notes? Does anyone have
the notes? I love it, Rito. Shoot me a Discord note and I'll catch you up. I'll give you the full summary of the episode.
There we go. But yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Hour and 4. We're gonna trim it nice and tight at the 1 hour mark here. Go like, subscribe, share. Thank you for joining us. Anyone who's new here, you know how it goes. Come back every Wednesday night. We're back on Wednesdays. Same bat time, same bat channel. 8:30 Central, 9:30.
I'm cautious.
NYC time.
The best time.
The best time. Yeah, I mean, are you going to the movies? Are you watching Ant-Man this week? No, of course not. Oh, I don't know why I ask.
Why do you ask?
I have to. It's I'm obligated. It's in the contract. You know
it
that.
Is.
It is. Are you doing anything?
Huh?
Are you doing anything this weekend?
We're doing a date night, and then we have D&D on Friday. You're here for the things I'm doing this weekend. What are you freaking talking about? We got D&D on Friday.
We
and
do
then-
have the ending of Friday. We do have the ending of Friday. Can't wait. Why did you ask? Because I think we're gonna go watch it. I've heard mixed reviews on it. Whatever. I'm
My
whatever.
brother enjoyed it, and my brother's a harsh critic. He was like, "Hey, it's a Marvel movie. You know what you're getting." He's like, "It's the formula's there. We all know what it is. We're paying for that formula, and they delivered." That was his review, and he likes the new villain. So I think that's a good deal.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All
right, folks.
Movie, right? So that's
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for spending your Wednesday night with us again. Another episode in the can.
Mm-hmm. Be kind.
Love you guys. Take care.